Some women chase success, others become leaders worth following. Welcome back to the podcast, guys. I'm here with Michelle Rule, the Millionaire Maker. I'm so excited to interview her. I've got to watch her whole personal brand blow up over the last couple of years, which has just been insane. The way that she moves and the speed she moves at and the conviction she moves with is just the best to see. And the results have been nothing short of incredible, and they just continue to be. So I think she has so much to share, not just about making lots of money and investing and all the things that she teaches, but what it's like to take that big leap from the successful business and brand that you have and into your own name. So I'm super excited to have her here. Thanks for coming, Michelle.
Amazing. Thanks, Phoebe, for having me.
Well, thanks for having me in your beautiful home. How
Yeah,
nice.
welcome.
Lucky us. So you, in the past 18 months, really, you've gone from 0 to over 500K in your business, which is just incredible because you just move so fast. Like, how's it been energetically, with your family, with everything? Like, what's been going on?
Yeah, absolutely. And look, thank you for reflecting that back as well, because I do think as high performers, and, it's not my first business. So my brain and my expectations are always on bigger and better and how can I make more impact and, impact the globe. So it certainly is a big mission. I'm super proud of what I've been able to accomplish in a short amount of time. But I also believe that has a lot to do with the energy that you go into something with. So I'm a big believer in stretch targets. I've always lived my life that way. So I see things, which is a pro and a con, because it's good because I see where I can go and I can see what kind of an impact this can make on a bigger scale, and that's what drives me. This is very much a soul mission. So I feel the urgency of time, and I want to sit around and wait when there's opportunities and there's women out there to support. At the same time, you do have to stop and go, hey, I've actually done something pretty cool, in only a year or 18 months that it's been. So yeah, it's been a whirlwind. When I look at it from that lens, it truly has been more than I ever could have honestly said was ever guaranteed.
Yeah. What do you feel, what has been some of the highlights through the past 18 months where you've kind of looked at it and been like, holy shit, I did that. That's so cool.
Honestly, I think all of it every time. So right now I'm preparing content for the Millionaires stage, which is my annual event that I run each year. And, in looking at that, in looking at some of the things that we've done, the wealth activation retreats in Broome, setting up my own podcast, some of the stages I've been invited to speak on, and over 50 women now that we've helped become multimillionaires, millionaires, and actually expand their money. And you think about the ripple effect that's then going to happen. And that's warm up.
I have goosebumps. This is so cool.
Yes,
oh, I love that so much. Like, what do you feel it has really contributed to you being able to grow so fast? Because I think sometimes we come at it from the same space of I'm starting a new business. Yeah. And when someone's stepping into their personal brand era, I'm like, it's not new. You're not new. Agreed. The way you've been moving is not new. So what do you think the way you've been moving, what is that, and how has that made it happen so fast?
Gosh, absolutely. Look, and I know we can all talk about the be, do, have. Like, we have to move as her. But I think the clearer we can become on the vision, but have that audacity and have that, whether you need to write it down, like, what is your authority piece? What actually have you done? And I don't just mean the resume, but who are you? What have you been through? What have you cracked the code on in life, and what worked for you? And just think about, well, hang on a minute, who am I to not even fully claim that? Because that right there is your resume to go and help the next person. So it is a mix of, yes, all of the degrees that you've had and the jobs you've worked and all of that, but it's also a mixture of the life experience. And so I don't know, for me, it all sort of started around my 40th birthday. So I don't know if that's just something that happens with women when they're like, what? We're on the fourth lap here. So fourth decade, that the time and the urgency, because honestly, if not now, then when? When are you going to give yourself full permission to actually go and send it? So I would say you can do that in your 20s, you can do it in your 30s, you can do it whenever is the time for you that you decide. So it's all about that decision.
And what a good reminder as well, not that like 40s 40
Yeah.
is so young. The closer I get to 40, the more I'm like, 40 is so
So
young.
young.
But, just that reminder, we can tell ourselves all sorts of stories about there's not enough time, or I'm already settled into this, or even I think sometimes we think, oh, shouldn't I just focus on the business I have or something?
Mhm.
And like, if it's not lighting you up the way something else is pulling you, then it's never going to work the same way that thing that's pulling you is.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
you need a healthy amount of crazy obsession, I would say, which
To make
can really
anything
drive
work.
you through. Yes.
Yes. Did you have a moment of imposter syndrome, or what the fuck am I doing? Like, I feel like when you stepped onto the scene, there was so much you didn't know
Oh,
and you just
yeah.
moved so fast in learning it. But did that, cause you to hesitate? What was your vibe in that? You just
I
kind of run head
mean,
first.
honestly, so much I didn't know. I firstly had never really opened the Instagram app, which was basically where I launched my whole business from. I'd never really heard about online coaches or knew anything about that space and didn't necessarily identify with I wanted to be a coach, but I knew I had something to share and I knew I had real life experience. And you and I met at one of those business networking events. Like I was out there speaking with women first and I knew that I could help them. And so if I was going to use a platform, then okay, let's just try and figure this one out because it doesn't really matter what the platform is. It's about the person behind it. So yeah, for me, when I look back, I'm like, are you insane? Were you insane? Because you're right. It is fairly audacious to just roll on out and just assume the world's going to open up. But then you look at the feedback loop. And yes, of course, you go through that cycle where it's like you don't know what you don't know, and like just use that, just use that
Yeah.
energy of you actually don't know. That's fine.
Yeah.
Roll on in, figure it out, get some great mentors around you, and I've had so much, been blessed with so many humans that have been happy to open their door and help and show me how things are done, and just be willing to do it messy, just messy action.
Yes.
So yeah, you
Yeah.
figure it out as you go.
Yeah, I mean, I remember us having conversations being like, how do we work Kajabi? Like,
Oh,
like the simplest things that
yeah.
could cause someone to spiral, but you were like, we are figuring this shit out because
Yeah.
this is meant to happen.
Loaded
This
the
is meant
app,
to
spent
be.
the weekend trying to figure out how to create the offer, and I was trying to build my own website. Like I was just doing it all. I'm like, that'll do because we're launching this masterclass next week and
Happening.
people need to find me. And, the
Yeah.
rest is history. Just tweak and refine as you go.
Yes. And when people are in your energy and in your space, like the transformation's there. That's the part we're the most certain in. The marketing we can figure out a way.
Get the VA.
Yeah.
Eventually.
At that point, when you first started, what did the vision look like then, and how has it grown with that confidence of going?
Yeah. So, the vision then was very macro focused. I came in ready for the whole life mission. Like I was ready for the global stage. I don't know what was with my brain. I was like, oh,
I
this
love
is
it.
the moment. I've built a successful business. I've had, gone from broke to multi-millions. I've seen behind the curtain on how wealth is built, all the things, right? And this is my moment to speak it. But what really happened was actually a micro pulling back and starting to work on the granular level with women, real life women, which has helped
Mm,
me understand my voice, the way that I teach modules, the way that I'm training, what's working. It's actually giving me so much beautiful cocoon time to finesse and fine tune and create real impact on this sort of Australia wide level because I know those global stages are coming and I've got to get ready.
yeah.
And so, yes, I'm moving into working on my speaking craft and keynotes and podcasting and all that's happening in the background. But I think, yeah, I thought I was going to go from zero to Oprah's going to invite me on her stage, which, yes, it's coming. If you're listening, Oprah, let's go. But at the same time, we can make a huge amount of impact just in our smaller community as well. So that's been really cool.
Yeah. And even at the pace that you're moving and the opportunities you're opening, there's still so much power in that groundwork of finessing your frameworks and what
Yes.
exactly it is that you do and how you get someone from A to B.
Yeah.
And that you're so freaking good at now that 50 women have become millionaires and multimillionaires in your space. That's just like you said, the ripple effect of that,
Yeah.
incredible.
And seeing them not only, because money changed my life. That's
Mhm.
why I'm talking about money. I could talk about health, well, I could talk all these different areas, but money truly was that piece that has allowed me to go and co-create whatever the hell I want, right? So
Mhm.
to see that with women, even just opening them up to the fact that, okay, now that you've got investments growing, now that you're charging the right value for value and we are cracking open additional income streams, and now that you can see that money is one of those things that you get to work with and play with, just seeing them open up on all the levels is everything,
Mm,
because it ripples out into their communities as well, like it truly does. So yeah, you can make a big impact with those early, few humans that you work with. So
yeah.
yeah, and I guess we think we want, and we will still get the global stages, but
Yeah.
truly the ripple effect, you can't underestimate it.
I also believe some people are really built for that micro experience that, and sometimes you're impacting someone who impacts millions. Like it
Yes.
just feeds in so many different ways, which is so
I
incredible.
love it.
Yeah, I love. Okay, I have so many questions about
Yes.
the things that you just touched on. I want to go in so many directions, but the investing space and money space, there's coaches and stuff out there. I feel like it's very bro coded. There's a lot of
Mm,
men in the space. Like what do you find is really different and important and supportive about helping women do this and
yeah.
how we approach it differently?
Oh, I'm obsessed with women. I'm obsessed with looking at money from a divine money point of view. And I am very strategy focused. I am probably a lot in my masculine, more than my feminine even, but then, weekends we can play and we can rest and all of that. But I do love to see the numbers behind things. I love a cash flow spreadsheet.
Mm.
I love a P&L. Like, get me. I want to see what my return on my investments are. Like, I really do appreciate that. So for me, because I was also energy healer trained, so, learning the modalities of Reiki healing and really truly understanding things on the most minute energetic level. But
Mm.
then me applying that in my life, that's one thing. But to go out and actually use that and to try to explain that, what are we doing? Like, how are we making our
Put that
millions?
in
We're doing
words.
freaking both. And so, right from the beginning, I remember saying to my mentor, I have to bring both with me. I
Mhm.
want to talk about strategy. I don't want to just talk about energetics and, the manifesting side of it, or the flow and the give and the receive, and but the way that women work with money, it is so different. And we are natural born creators. We
Mm.
see the vision, masculine, feminine, yes, we all carry both. But I do believe when a woman knows the direction she wants to go with and she has a masculine energy beside her, he is so excited and feels purposeful in building that with her. But really, he looks to her to
The
what's the
compass.
creation? Where's the vision?
Desires the compass and
Uh-huh.
desires so feminine.
And
Yeah.
so really we see men as the providers, traditionally men are as the providers to bring home, and then we get told what to do. But actually it's like, no, it's to even it out. We must have bigger visions, because what if
Mm.
the woman can see, a space or a holiday or something that she can create for her family, and then have the masculine energy by her side? There isn't a limit to what you can create. So,
Yeah.
in creating this, yes, thought leadership with women, I believe that we need that safe space as well to just speak about money the way we want to speak about money. That includes the numbers, and it also includes all of the woo woo as well. It's like we get to have both.
Yes. Yeah. And you mentioned that before, that you get to be a real co-creator in your life.
Yeah.
Like what does that mean to you?
Yeah. So, money is the co creation tool on this planet.
Mhm.
So, I believe that we're all here to create. This whole planet is here for us. We are so powerful as human beings. We can create pure heaven here, or we can create pure hell.
Mm.
And that goes down right to the level of our thoughts, where everything is birthed. So I see each and every one of us, it's our duty to actually take responsibility for the way we're thinking, the way we're moving, and what we want to build and create. Now, if we have an idea or something we want to create, or even a holiday or a home we want to build, or a foundation, it's going to require money. It's going to require that energy source, which I believe is money.
Mm.
So that is where, for me, money is the most obvious choice. It helps you with all of your value systems. If you value your family, okay, money frees up your time. You can hire the people, spend time with your family. If you value health, make more money, you get the food you want, get the personal trainer. Like, you actually get to create whatever on earth you want. And that's the world that I want to see. So I see money and co-creation as one in the same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how beautiful. We are so powerful. We get to, but it
Oh,
comes from that. I feel like desire is really at the core of everything. We have to let ourselves want it. What do you say when
Yes.
women are like, I don't need millions?
Gosh, yes. That was me. That's okay. That was me. You know, first of all, we've got to get clear on your value system. So, if you are living a life in pure expression, in pure overflow from the energetic sense, like you are moving through your day on purpose, self expressed, spending time with all the things you love to do, then that's great. And you've cracked it. Then we don't need to change that.
Yeah.
But I do think that at some point, we've sort of been taught to be grateful for what we've got, but we haven't actually built everything that we want to build. So, gratitude, okay, yes, but I'm saying gratitude and it's okay to ask for more.
Yeah.
Because if you can, and this is the generation that can, I want to know what you could do if I landed multiple millions more in your bank account. I want to see how you would move. And if you would move differently and more expandedly, then actually it is a
Mm.
support to have more money. So I
Es-
guess that's what I would say to that.
Especially for women. I think women have been so underexpressed
Yeah.
in historic times, and that also comes from us suppressing that desire and suppressing anything that might look like selfishness. That is just us wanting things or wanting to
Yeah.
experience things or wanting to be free and flowy and all those yummy things, which we can only do if we have the financial means to.
Yeah. I
Mm.
love that. Get a queen account, that's what I call it.
Yes, Queen account,
Filter money
so
into the
good.
queen account.
Yes. Okay. Something I find really interesting is we have a lot of conversations in the business space of when I was broke and nothing was going my way, then I had to take all these leaps. Something that I think is really powerful for women is to hear when you actually had financial
Mm,
safety and you had to leap then. Because I know there's a lot of women who, at this age, when you're 30s, 40s, whatever, you're financially stable and maybe you've already got a business that's making money and doing well, and you're still shit scared to take that leap into your personal brand era or this next evolution of your mission or something. So, hearing from you that, of course, you're basically financially free at that point in time and you still had to really leap
mm.
for your personal brand and for this business that you're creating. Like, what were some of the big investments you had to make or choices you had to make or places you had to put
Yeah.
yourself that were still stretchy, even though, yes, we've got the money, it's still
Yeah.
scary.
I mean, honestly, I think humans are really good when their back is up against a wall and they're out of options. There is this sense of survival and you'll muster up this force within to go and do the thing. But what we're
Mm,
potentially not so good at is when you actually have the comfortable life,
yes.
and there is no sense of urgency
A lot of us don't know ambition without fight or flight,
without fight or flight. Yeah, a
without survival.
regulated decision to
Yeah, a
actually go.
desire based ambition instead of a fear based.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. So, yeah, and I remember even in those early days, I mean, the initial jump would be I knew that I was entering a world that I knew nothing about. I'd built a multi-million dollar IT company beside my husband, but IT and personal brand, like they're different worlds. So I realized that right from the beginning, I would need a mentor. And I was in charge of the cash flow. I ran the cash flow for the business, for our 5 investment properties, for the household. Like I knew my numbers and I knew what was what. I had my Queen account, but then to go and invest 5 figures in your first, coach or somebody to mentor you, I sat with that for a couple of months. Like, am I crazy? What am I actually doing here? Is this sensible? But what I actually think I was sitting with even more than that is knowing that you are about to go somewhere you can't come back from.
It's such a decision
Mm.
when you go, okay,
I'm
I'm
going to
in.
do this. And there was a moment in those early days. I remember being on, it was like a group coaching call. And I remember saying, like, here we are, we're out and about and we're talking about the things. And what on earth must the poor school mums think? Like, what's Michelle doing now?
Yeah.
My kids, they would know them and they're like, such and such as mom is doing this, and you
Mm,
think about that and that weighs, kids are your most important thing. And so that weighs on you too. Like, of course people will get this tiny snippet and I don't know because I've never asked them.
yeah.
Maybe they're cheering me on or maybe they're not, but you enter this weird space where everyone in your actual environment has to witness you doing something different and yet they don't have the full story yet. And it just has to be something that I honestly say you just have to let it be and just create a bit of space away from that. And we don't have to get approval from people. It really is better just to wait and see, let them watch. And if they want to join in on the party, they'll join in on the party and stay. And if they want to drop away, then they can, and that's fine too. But,
Yeah.
to answer your question in why did I feel I wanted to do this, for me, it just started as a whisper and it became too noisy and I couldn't sit with the noise.
Mm.
I couldn't sit with the noise as a 40-year-old. So I for sure knew I wasn't going to be able to sit with the noise as an 80-year-old. What on earth did you do? You had this opportunity. You had this message. We gifted you with this life. What did you do with it?
And the responsibility feels huge as well when you can really see the way that your work can impact people. I always feel like your purpose being bigger than your bullshit or your fear, as we
Yeah.
say, is
Yes.
such a big thing to come back to. When you're scared to do something, okay, cute that you're scared,
Yeah.
but when you could be helping hundreds, thousands, millions of women become millionaires and that impact literally the whole world, their families, their kids, like
Yeah.
almost shut the fuck up that you're scared, like
Exactly.
that is such a small deal
Agreed. It
compared
actually
to what we're
felt
doing.
selfish to dive into the fear of that. It was kind of
Mm.
like, sorry, you didn't get everything that you got in your life to be all poor old me that has to show up on
Oh, people are
Instagram and
gonna
maybe be
see
judged
me.
a little
People are
bit.
gonna see me with all my millions.
It's like, it's a no. You've just got to be
Yeah.
stronger than that. So, yeah, for me, that's what I felt like I was up against. I wasn't up against lack or fear in that way, but also maybe up against the fear of living a life that wasn't fully on mission.
Mm.
That felt,
I like
yeah.
that you still mentioned though that you sat on the investment for quite some time
Hmm.
because I think that's our go-to, right? No matter how abundant we
Hmm.
are, money is the easiest excuse for us to fall back on, like, oh, is this a smart way to spend my money or
Yes,
should I do this? When deep down it's like, do I back myself to do it?
agreed.
Or do I really believe I'm the one who can pull this off? Or is this important? Or is this too selfish or whatever it is? But I think it's so important that we recognize in ourselves that money is so often the story, the easiest excuse story for us to run to.
I don't have money for that, or it's not a sensible thing to do. It's like,
Yeah, which still shows up even when we
even when
have
you've got, yes, I
multi-millions.
know that sounds silly when you look back and you think, huh?
Yeah.
But your brain will find all the reasons why. Have you triple double checked?
Yeah.
Are you actually going to do this? Because
Yeah.
there's some unsafety feelings around this.
Yeah. Especially when you're a high achiever and we've got that masculine side where we've always been
Yeah.
very logical. It sounds so smart of us to not do it.
But also knowing that I don't back out of things. So if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do something. And
Yeah.
it doesn't mean to say that you can't change your mind on what that looks like. But that part of me knew if I'm doing this, I'm doing this.
Is it new to you, or did this come up in your past business? And I suppose it definitely would have come up in your investment journey to set such a big goal, having no clue how we're actually going to get there and sit in that being like, I'm doing it anyway and saying it out loud and letting people see me want it, even though I don't know. Did that feel new in this business, or were you like, no, I've played this game before?
I No, yeah, I'm trying to think how far back. I think I've always had a bit of delulu, to be completely honest, or a bit of a black sheep, or a bit of a different thinker, or a deep thinker, or, introverted, a deep thinker, I would say.
Mm,
I'm march to the beat of my own drum in terms of I honor myself, my soul mission, myself, and whether you want to call it God, source. So to me, that's the driving force. And so what's happening out if you've been given something that you need to do, kind of got to do it.
yeah.
You just have to do it. Like, and ladies,
Yeah.
and whoever's listening to what you need to do. It's sitting there as a whisper.
Yeah.
And it's going to get louder. And I do believe that things get thrown in your path that maybe aren't so great if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And I was already sort of getting to that space where I didn't feel as expanded as I needed to be. Well, you've got to look at what are you avoiding?
Yeah.
Because you can't say I want to go from whatever it is, 1 million to 5 million or 5 million to 20 or like 0 to 1 if you're not ready to move different
And be a different
and be
human
a different
being.
human being. And so I knew the greater number of people you serve, the greater your capacity for wealth.
Mm,
And I knew that the bigger impact you can have on the people around you, however you can offer value, the more money will flow to you.
yeah.
So get in the stream. Let's go. Where's your
Yes.
value? What can you do? What can you offer?
What is your big mission and vision that you really see for all this work you're doing?
I see a shift. So we are sitting in an interesting time right now where the wealth gap is increasing. So I do see a big shift between those that have and those that do not have. And I know we've got really comfortable in this middle class. I grew up very middle class, and it feels like a very safe place to be. You work hard, you pay off your mortgage, save your
Mm,
super, and you're good, you're set. And then the next generation does the same. But I do not feel that we're going to have a middle class forever, that this divide is happening because the richer, the wealthy, that top 1%, their wealth is growing 4 times the speed of the rest of the,
wow.
99%.
Mm,
So if that's happening and this balloon effect is happening where the wealthy are getting ultra wealthy at a rapid pace at 4 times the speed, there's this breakaway. We've got 85% of the population still in the struggling or stretching, not even in the overflow packet, which would be like that top 15%.
mm-hmm.
So if I've got to figure out where I'm going to be, it's not, should I be here, should I be in the bottom, the middle, or the top? It's kind of like you need to aim for up there or you're going to get pulled back down here. And
Mm,
I don't want that for my kids, the next generations to come, because I
yeah.
do believe that there's a shift of wealth on this planet. So my big vision would be to assist all of those humans who feel that they're here for a big purpose, for a big mission, whether you're soul led. Absolutely anyone right now in this generation can enter that top percentage of wealth growing on autopilot. That's what I want to see. That's really,
Yes.
so it's a bit of a disruptor energy, but I feel like I want to give people the best shot that they can have to join that wealth on overflow because I want to see what planet we get to create.
Mm, and if
Yeah.
we can get more good women doing the things that, I know the circles we run in, like if
Hmm.
these are the women who have that money and are in that percent, then we're going to be creating a good world and a safe world, even if that gap
Exactly.
exists for whatever period of time.
Oof, full chills. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. And that's what we want. Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Ooh,
Big job,
nailed
Michelle.
it.
Oh, I love
We've got a
that.
few people on the mission too, like
Yes.
yourself.
Yeah.
However, we're helping women make money.
Yeah, it's incredible to see and be a leader in that space. Same for me every time I look at my clients and I think how beautiful that I got to help her. And then I'm like, wait a sec, do you
Mhm.
see how she's helping so many more women? Like sometimes you've got to, you take a little minute with your mission and
Yeah.
blow your own mind. It's so
I
special.
love that.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
switch gears to some fun stuff
Okay,
because
cool,
we
cool.
were talking before about how everyone loves to know about money. Everyone loves to talk about millions. And then when people really have it, we get this awkward, like, I don't want to sound silly and ask questions of what that's really like, but let's
Yeah.
have like fun conversations
Yeah.
about how cool it is to have lots of money. So firstly, like what does financially free mean and look like to you? And do you feel like you're there now or is that still something that you are kind of working towards?
Yeah, I love that. So initially financial freedom meant that my asset base was growing at a rate that was faster than the amount that I needed to live on each year. So I had this idea, this concept that was presented to me back when I was pretty broke, that if I could aim towards something, this is the first time I'd ever aimed towards anything other than just paying off a mortgage and saving super. I'd never even heard of this like financial freedom. So accumulate assets, who me? Like on
Mm,
purpose, like not just because I have to in my super, but because I'm actively going to go buy things. So started to map it, and 5 million was the number that we came up with. If we can get to 5 million, then it's going to be growing at a rate where we wouldn't need that much. The growth rate per year. We wouldn't need that any more than that.
mhm.
Now, the interesting thing that happens when you start to build wealth, because we got there,
Yeah.
is and I retired for a little bit. I was like, okay, we're done. Just have my second
I
baby.
can't
Let's retire.
imagine you sitting down.
Oh no, that's just a terrible idea. I think some people just should not really ever entertain retirement, but freedom in the sense that we don't have to, feel like we need to actively generate money, like even in this new business, there was no pressure for it to produce money necessarily, which meant that I could be in creative overflow and
And
really
invest
invest the way that
and
I wanted.
yeah.
So to me, that's freedom. So I guess now, my target, we're sitting just over 8 million in asset. We'll be at 10 million in only a few years. Our net, I believe, has just crossed over the 6 million. I looked at it the other day.
Oh,
I'm like, oh,
good.
hello. But this is what happens though, because it's now growing. I looked at, the last 2 financial years, over 700,000 in additional portfolio growth for those
Yeah.
2 years. And
Can
then
we
this
just
year,
pause on thinking about
numbers.
how much work it is to make
Mhm.
$700,000
Yeah.
in your business? And even then, after tax expenses,
Uh-huh.
blah, 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 you're not taking no one we're not taking
Right.
$700,000
Double
home. So
X
the
of
fact that
tax.
you've done that, you know, in your assets, like I just love to blow our minds that's
Exactly.
yeah.
Because what I actually was on chat the other day saying, what would my salary need to be to even bring this home? But not only bring this home, but we're not living off that. We've already produced more money in cash in businesses that we're
Yeah.
living off, right? So we enter this state of overflow that I'm obsessed with helping women with, because there's something that happens energetically in your body when you have not only assets growing, additional income streams flowing, enough money to really just like this
Oh,
plasticine of life.
yeah.
What are we gonna,
Yeah.
what are we going to do with this? And so this is the space that we're in now. So I would say yes, I've hit financial freedom. I would also say it still feels like the tip of the iceberg and we've got to enjoy the journey. But I do also think with that comes a greater responsibility to what are you going to do with this beautiful privilege that you have? Because I remember very, very well what it was like to be struggling.
Mhm.
30K debt was the story that I share, but that was really a 20-year-old working that 9 to 5 ad agencies, high paying job, racking up credit card bills because I just couldn't get my monthlies under control. So,
Mm,
the amount of shame that goes around, that can go around money.
mhm.
So, that same human has the potential to go on into financial overflow in a relatively short amount of time.
Yeah.
We really only decided in 2015 to go all in, and what was that, a decade later?
Yeah.
So, but even then, I don't think it needs to take that much time. I see women rising much faster because if you've got a business, that is an exponential potential to earn.
Yeah.
And so, do the deep energy work behind it and watch how money responds.
And get in these
Yeah.
spaces where these are normal
Mhm.
conversations and no matter where you're at, don't count yourself out of those conversations because you're still in the debt or because you're still month to month or whatever it is. Like go and learn and
Agreed.
see how that happens.
There'll be something in your programming that is running that tape for you, because
Mm,
now I have the luxury of speaking to many women about money conversations every day. I get to hear how they spend, how they invest, how they move it. And when things come up, I think, oh, that's interesting, because that's not the way that I see it. And they're
mm,
seeing it potentially in a restricted point of view. And so to be able to reflect back where those restrictions are occurring, and they're thinking, "Oh, is that the way your brain works?"
And is that not a fact? Because
It's
that's
not a
just the way,
fact.
I always say it's like your subconscious beer goggles. Like that's just
Uh-huh.
how you see the world because that's how you've grown up. Those are the stories you've been told. That's what the evidence you've created at this point in time. So to see from someone else's Chanel goggles, like
Yes.
maybe
I love
it's
this. Let's get some Chanel goggles, which, again, is why, you do the work that you do. And yeah, what continues to drive me, because I find it fascinating that we actually get to change our life in any direction. We can spiral up, we
Mm,
can spiral down, we can
yes.
hover in the same spot, but you
Yeah.
actually get to decide.
Yeah, that's amazing. So with all this money and all this responsibility, where do you feel like you want to put it? Like what does that responsibility look like? I think sometimes we get all trapped in it would just all go to charity or something, but I think obviously the work you're doing right now is spreading so much more wealth and abundance in a completely different way. Do you feel like that's where you send it?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, time is the one limited resource that we can't get back. So, if you can offer someone your time, that is such a valuable thing to offer them. So, at the moment, I'm investing a lot from this business back into making more impact in the business as well. But also, don't forget, it's okay to invest in outsourcing within your life as well.
Mm,
So in order to even have this business, one of my first hires was a full-time personal assistant. I'm
yes.
like, well, I'm not, going to be carrying because the home requires things.
Yeah, a
And
lot.
I don't want a stressed out husband. Like that's not a vibe for anyone. So, okay, if I'm going to do this, and I actually did leave it for a few months and my poor husband's running around trying to like
Like, is this
prepare all
what
the things.
we're
But
doing?
when did this happen? And he fully supports my mission.
Yeah.
But I think we get to decide what roles we want to take on, what
Mm,
roles we want to outsource. So I'm a big believer in outsourcing.
yeah.
I love to stay in my magic as much as possible.
Yeah.
And if I
Expand us. Tell us like who's in
yeah.
your life? Who takes care of you? Who takes
All
care
right.
of
Well, we're
things?
sitting in my home right now. So, I've got the full-time personal assistant, whatever, 40 hours a week. So,
And we
and
just
she's
got a
flat out.
weekend one
We
because
just got a weekend one now because I noticed on the weekends when Haley's not here, it's like, oh, hang on a minute. Now I've got to switch my hat into house mode. I didn't actually want
yeah.
to do that. I'd rather switch my hat into we're doing kids' sports, we're running
Yeah.
around, little ones want to go to
Presents.
the movies, whatever. Or even just, goodness me, sit down and read something. Right. So we've got someone in on the weekends now, which has been so beautiful. And I think it's great to check in with your partner as well, because
Mm,
just because they're picking up the slack or doing the thing doesn't necessarily mean they want to.
it's not their full expression either.
And my husband is just he's like, no, I've got it, I've got it. I'm like, you know what, babe, but you don't have to got it. Like,
Yeah.
let's get someone
Oh my
in.
gosh, I need to take some of this home to my husband because he's so good at
Yeah.
getting it. And I'm like, is that what you want to do with your day
Yeah.
though? Because I obviously
Yeah.
didn't want to, so I get it.
Yeah. So, I'm just one to be like, okay, sweetie, this is what's happening. Sweetie, I don't call him sweetie. Okay, babe, here's what's happening. I've hired someone. This is her name. She's arriving this time. She knows what to do. And he's like, okay.
Yeah.
And then watch him sit down. He actually sat and watched the footy with my
Oh,
10-year-old the other day. And I'm like,
joy.
there you go live your life. You don't need to be
Yes.
in the kitchen. So we've got that. We've obviously got, a gardener, pool cleaner, someone that comes and sorts out the dogs. And we've got one little puppy there. What else do we have in the home? We've got a cleaner. She takes about 6 hours to clean this house on a Friday.
Yeah.
Um, Haley does all the food shopping and everything. So I really don't
Yeah, and she's
touch the
picking up the
kitchen.
kids and stuff.
Yeah,
Like
she can do that
amazing.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I try. I just love being that person that is standing outside the classroom door when the kids come down.
Yeah.
It's like my favorite time of the day. So if I can, I get there. But if I can't, we both know the drill.
Yeah.
So it's
You've
okay. We
just
don't have
got
to have
that
guilt around
backup all
it.
the time. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, other than that, I've got a beautiful supportive family too. My mum, my
Yeah.
dad, they like to, if there's
Amazing.
any overnight babysitting going around, they'll happily have the kids
Yeah.
and the kids love them. So I think that just creates a healthy, happy home. Some
Beautiful, isn't
mundane
it? And
home, I
that's,
suppose.
these are the spaces that we have to let ourselves dream that I think a lot of women don't even let themselves touch on.
Mm,
Like, who wouldn't love to have someone who takes care of so much of the house? Or maybe for you, it's that you don't have to be running around trying to make money in a different way because that doesn't excite you. You want to be in the home
agreed.
baking the
Yeah.
sourdough, doing the things,
Yeah.
but that all comes with money.
It does.
Yeah. What about in the business? What are your favorite support systems you have in
Yes.
there?
So always had a coach. Always, always. Even in the IT company, one of our very first hires was a mentor, somebody to just
Mm,
run the numbers, be in our management meetings, be in our finance meetings. Like we need to be sense checking things and we need to
mhm.
have things reflected back to us. So that's been great. In the personal brand business, I've got a content creator, a virtual assistant, a coach in this business. Gosh, who else do I have? I feel like I've got so many of us.
Yeah.
Maybe,
But you
I
still
don't
run a
know.
beautifully lean personal brand business,
Oh,
which
I
is
feel
the
like, yes.
best. I love that about these businesses.
Yeah. And in fact, sometimes there was a stage I had a few more staff and I felt a little more disconnected. It's very
Mm,
tricky when you're a bold action taker and you're moving at rapid speeds. And if you want to pivot and move, sometimes just being that bit closer to your business is easier to just, but I'm just going to wipe that bit out and I'm just going to focus in on this and be
yeah.
nice and close to my clients, which I love. So,
Yeah. And not have to
yeah.
move through too many layers of staffing and
Yeah.
procedures and blah, blah,
Yes.
blah. Yeah.
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 Okay. So then what about your life? Like you have millions of dollars. What are you spending on? What are some things your
Yeah.
favorite things you've bought or spent money on in the past
Oh,
couple of years, just
gosh.
for funsies?
It's funny, it changes. It changes. I always have my Queen account. So, I'll spend
Will you tell us
anywhere.
how much is
I'm
in
like,
your
should I? Haley knows
what's
my
your
Queen
like
account.
monthly Queen account these days?
Look, honestly, it's fair. I would say, well, I don't want to say it's conservative because my Queen account started out as was it like $200 or $500 a month? I vividly remember, I've always done the cash flow. So I remember
Yeah.
the day where I was like, babe, we're going to do this thing where we have our own, cash just to spend.
So this is the spendies account.
So
This
this
is we've
is,
done the investing, we paid the
we've
bills. This is
invested,
just
we've
for
paid the
fun.
bills. I just want women to have a pocket where nobody can touch it. And if you want to pull that money up, and in the early days, I just get so excited by this, and it slowly grew to like $1,000 a month, and then I'll be like, oh, if I'm getting this, that means 5 months from now I can go get that handbag because I was never really would allow myself to shop in those places, or and I did that for a little while, bought a few designer products and whatnot. And it's not that I wouldn't now, but it's expanded so much more than that. So I love going to the spa.
Yes.
I love
Always at the
shopping
spa.
with, Belinda. So I love a full wardrobe of clothes. Not all designer, just, nice clothes.
Yeah.
So now I would say I tend to spend around 5,000, sometimes closer to double that. I can accidentally, but it's all ebbs and flows, and I have my annual amount that I try to hang around. But that's just because of all the other things I want to do. So travel is huge.
Yes. Do you have a separate travel
Yes, I do,
account?
sort of. I call it, so I have very chunky categories with my cash flow, and I like to keep it that way. So living is one big chunky category. And let me tell you, that's,
She's a chunky
tens of thousands of
category.
dollars a month goes into this one thing, which covers, we rent vest. So it covers, so we own the 5 properties, but we rent where we live. That just made financial sense. It allowed us to hold more asset. Great. So that covers, the rent, the food, the whatever, like
All the
I don't know,
people we just
Netflix.
mentioned. That, yeah.
Yeah, just moving around and living our life. Oh,
Yeah.
Car's a business. I was going to say we have the car cleaners that come into all of that. But then what else have we got? So the travel and big purchases like furniture and all of that just sits in another big chunky category. So every month I know I've got, X amount of dollars to just sort of put into the places.
Yeah.
Whether we're going to Europe a bit later on. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'll do that then. But we've sort of exited the stage where we need to save up too much. It's not really, it's more of just a forward thinking 2 or 3 months ahead in terms of where things are going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's anything really off limits to you now, or is there any big like money thing that you want to buy but still feels a little bit like, oh, that's just a bit luxy, or like maybe I'm gonna have to twist hubby's arm to agree to that one or something, or is it just
No.
like we can always make it happen,
No, he just says, oh, you've got
You'll
this,
figure it
babe.
out.
You always figure it out. Like
Yeah.
I trust you with all the things when I'm like, hey, we're getting this furniture and then we're going on that trip. And he's like, you've got it, babe. Like, because
Yeah.
we used to do the monthly money meetings and all of that, but we've just had so many years and so many reps of it that he just trusts the flow of it. And if he ever needs to see or check in, and we'll sit down once a year and map out the big stuff, but the smaller stuff is like, no, you've got it. Good system. Keep going.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. But no, I just think your own capacity will expand. Like, I'll see people, spend $100K on a handbag. For me, I'm not there yet because it wouldn't make proportionate sense in everything else that's going on in my life. For me, my value system, I'd be like, might get another deposit on a home and do some more investing with that. Like it doesn't really feel. So this is where it's like you start at 500 in the Queen account, next minute it's 5K for the month, but it really, everything amplifies. And I want it to amplify. I want there to be the day where, dropping $100K on a handbag is like, okay, because that means that whatever work you're doing in the world is of that much value, that is how the money will flow to you.
That's
so
a drop
I think
in the
freaking
ocean.
yes.
Yeah.
We ought to be expanding and intending on expanding, not intending on restricting and hoping that expenses will get smaller and hoping that I'm going to save and spend less. Like, no, I should hope that I'm going to spend more in the future and earn more and serve more and do everything more.
Yeah. That's such a different mindset, isn't it? Because even I know in business, sometimes we have highs and then your mind can so quickly go to, oh, what if I don't do it again? Or how am I going to do that next month? And it's very like control and scarcity right away. And you have to come back to like, no, there's just more. There's always more. The version of you that did that can do even more next time. Like coming back into that mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah, how
Yeah.
beautiful. Oh, so fun. Okay. Any big fun spendies on the horizon or things that you're
Oh,
really
I love
enjoying
this.
pouring your money into?
Yes. So lots of traveling's happening there. Yes, I've been saying for about a year that I want to get myself a nice Rolex. So that
Mm.
is, it's happening, but it's so interesting because again, it's not that I can't. It will click into place when the day comes where I do that easy breezy, like didn't really even need to think too hard about it. It's like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's the next natural thing.
Yeah.
So traveling, like I said, I mean, I don't know how many trips we've been on this year, but we're spending a month in Europe with my family and my little kids and my mum and dad going back to Italy. So that's
Yeah.
going to be a huge
Do
trip.
you
I'm
get to take your
excited.
family in some of these kind of experiences?
So
And
my mum and my dad, do you mean pay for them?
yeah.
They wouldn't let me.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, people still
So
have the things.
they are well and truly, and I love that. Some people that is, to retire their parents, that's incredible to do that. My parents have been hard workers, teachers, done really well with saving the super and doing things the traditional route, and now they're both retired. And I don't think
Living the
they'll ever,
dream.
they've got enough in super to do whatever because all their kids are now, earning and
Yeah.
and living their life too.
I know
So
you take some of your staff though, like when you
yeah.
went, I'm sure you just took someone to New York.
Oh,
Like how
yes.
special.
My
That's so
personal
fun.
assistant,
Yeah.
yes. I did fly her to New York. I think we dropped I don't know how much. No, I do know how much on that trip.
It would have been a lot because I know you went in business
We
or first
did.
class or something.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah, so
But
I
how
guess
just like such fun abundance, I think. So
and
beautiful.
I think that's isn't that great to have like I that didn't even register as something that was like over and above. To me that's just like of course because
Mm,
that's great that we could do that together. She's a great support system for me going
yeah.
to this, New York City and having her there to help me and it was busy scheduled days and she was on there helping with absolutely everything. So to me, I'm like, yeah, of course.
Yeah. A beautiful
So yeah,
exchange for everyone.
yeah,
Love.
that's it.
Yeah, so cool. Okay.
Awesome.
We know you've got the Millionaire stage coming up.
Yes.
Tell us about it. What's happening? Why do we need to be
Yes.
there?
Yes. So the 22nd of July in Perth at Crown because, I want to have these conversations with as many women as I possibly can. And I know there is, we can chat on here for an hour or whatever, but to actually spend an entire day to break through what it is that they want to build in wealth and actually get them a map and get them moving on that map so that we can
Mm,
make decisions in the room and get them deciding on some things. That's how I'm going to change more lives. So that's a millionaires stage. And we've got a full wealth panel coming in. We're going to be talking all things investing as well as
so
all the
good.
energetics, which I'm just so blessed that we get to do that.
Yay.
So, yes, get your tickets.
So good. I'll be there.
Yes,
I'll
you
drop
will.
the link in the show notes so everyone can come find it. But thank you,
Incredible.
Michelle. Thank you for sharing all your big, beautiful mission, all the big leaps you've taken, and yeah, just doing the incredible work that you're out here doing. We love it.
Thanks, Phoebe. Appreciate you.
Yay. Bye.
Okay, see you.